taking Indian defense. Bishop g4, queen knight f3, followed by c6, h3. We can take on f3, c6, knight b d7. Queen c7, push e5, next move, d5, c5. We have closed game. Two knights much stronger than two bishops in closed game. Rook b8, push b5, takes with queen or knight. Okay, b5, knight takes b6. Double the rook, put queen b7, protect e6. Now we can play rook b2 or knight e4. Let's take on e4, 3 pawn, GG. Next match, let's go. Have fun and good luck. e4, c6, Karukan defense. Later take over variation. Okay, big blunder. Now bishop e4, threat queen f7 or win bishop. Queen e4, threat win bishop f4 or give check. Queen f7, mating attack with rook e1. Check. Okay, you can give check. King e7, rook check. King d7, bishop check, king c7, or rook f e1, bishop e6, check, king e7, queen g7, queen f8, bishop e6, stake with rook, then give check, takes with rook, check, king e7, check, and mate with bishop. Looks like puzzle rush, my friends. King e7, queen g7, king e8, bishop g6, checkmate. Let's go. To prevent mate, gave me queen. Nice. Queen c7, threat queen b7, win the rook. Knight e6, bishop takes e6, and GG. Queen c7, we can play. Want to play e5, e4, fork. Two pieces, but knight c3 control e4. d5 c5, queen and bishop in the same diagonal. So let's come back to d8, prevent c5, knight h5, open diagonal for bishop g7. Let's come back, king g4, lose pawn in the center. So let's take first, threat pawn takes c3. Now we can come back to f6. Tempo very important in chess. Rook e8, knight e8. Take with knight. Knight e6, threat knight takes d4. Okay, knight d4. Queen takes knight with a check. Bishop d7, protect. Knight with queen and rook. Knight takes d4, knight, bishop takes d4. We win another pawn. Threat bishop c3. Okay, now we can put the queen on h3, threat queen takes h4, threat queen takes g4. Discover attack. Play c5. Okay, c5. c5, h5. Bishop takes. Take with queen. Bishop g7. Bishop d6, knight d6, queen d6. Bishop h3. Let's play bishop h3 now. Knight f4. Knight f4, queen g5. Pin the knight, protect the bishop. Knight g3. Queen h8. Pin bishop d6. Threat knight takes bishop now. You can take with rook, but you can take with a check. Nice move. Bishop f6, protect the rook. Want to take the knight. Take the bishop with knight now. Nice tactic. Check and win piece. Thank you. Thank you. You can push now. Push, takes and play. Okay, now activate the king. Time trouble. Give check. G4, come back. With the bishop. Okay, bishop, stop 3 plus pawn. Let's activate the king. Come back. pass pawn, check, give me the bishop. Yes, GG. Nice game. Next match. Have fun and good luck. e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, Italian game. 2 knights defense. Short castle, knight e4, rook e1. You can push d5. Let's play bishop d5. Prevent d5. Knight c6 takes and play knight d4. Or give check. Force bishop e7. Let's give check. Take on c6. Queen e2. Pin the bishop. Knight takes. Make short castle. Threat knight e6. Knight e6, queen e6 with the check. Try to win the bishop. No. Rook f7. Okay, knight c3. Bishop can go to bishop f4. Sorry, bishop f4, bishop c3, bishop takes. Can play bishop c3. Okay, the rook is pinned. No problem. Stake. Takes. Rook e6, double the rook. g4, make room for white king. g4, f4, let's go. Activate the king. King f3. Want to play c5 and push. Push takes with pawn. Activate the king. Okay, takes with rook. Rook d7 takes with the check. King here. Let's take with the check and play king e7. Put the rook on f7. One more check. Let's go. Rook here. Take the position after takes and push the pawn. Rook c8, rook f8. Trade rooks. Okay, trade rooks. King d6. King d6. King e8. Push e7. You can push and push. Or king f6. King f6. Push, king here. Put block in. Let's push and play king e6. Push the pawn and play king e6. Put block in zugzwang position. But 2 against 3. Let's play like Yuri Averbach. Okay, now we can play king e6. Force c5. After c5, if I push e4, you can play e6. Push b5. Takes. Strike king e6. Or take this 2 pawns. You try c5 and push c5, e4. Okay, now we can push, I think. We can push and push. Can push and win the game. If you play e6, threat b5, you can push e4. But e4, okay, e4, e5, king d6 win the game. King f7, king d7, king g7, queen, and GG. Stake with pawn b. Want to promote b5 and push. Okay, takes. You have pawn move. You can takes and push. Now we can takes. Force g5. Let's push. takes, promote rook, checkmate. GG. Nice rook end game. Nice pawn end game. Play like Yuri Averbach. Now if pawn takes or push, promote rook, checkmate. After trade rooks, put black in zugzwang position by king d6, e7, king e6. GG. Next match. Let's try e4. We have Sicilian defense. Play Smith Mora Gambit against Sicilian defense. e3, e5, knight e2, knight f3, e5, knight c3, bishop b4. Let's play knight f3, bishop g4, bishop e2. Okay, knight c3, push e4, knight d2. Can try bishop e2 now. Takes, push. Short castle, bishop c3, bc3. Okay, short castle, b takes c3, bc3. Bishop c3, bc3, e4 or take on d4. If you take on d4, can takes with pawn, open c5 for rook, c1, 2 bishop, try c4 and d5. Takes with knight, bishop takes with the check, knight takes, queen takes d4 or bishop takes d4. Bishop takes d4, we threat f3. Let's takes with the bishop, prevent trade on e3. Now we threat f3, we control e3, we protect bishop with queen d1. And we threat white threat fork with pawn f3, fork the queen and fork the knight. Pawn h3, give me the knight. Okay, takes with pawn and threat mate. Takes with pawn. Let's play queen e5. Threat queen h2 or win the bishop. Big blunder. Lose piece. If I take queen here and threat mate. Prevent queen c4. Queen e4, takes. Want to take on e7. Okay, let's take. Queen b5. I think we can save the game. We have a nice position, but I give him advantage with bishop. Okay, let's takes another pawn. Rook d1 check, king g2. Rook d7 can threat mate. Okay, g5. Takes with rook. Sorry, no draw. Want to double the rook on 7 rank. Rook c1, we have passed pawn, let's go. No draw, we have time, advantage of time, plus okay, check. Mate. GG. 2403, nice game. Threat knight takes h6 with the check. Okay, let's take with the check and win the bishop. Threat mate. Remove the bishop. Prevent checkmate. Leave check, push. Easy puzzle, easy win, let's go. GG. Next match. Easy pause, easy win. Let's go. 2429. Let's come back 2500. Draw, my friend. GG. Don't like to make stalemate. 10 in game, he wants gambit. Knight takes, we lose maybe not knight c3 and bishop and rook c1. Okay, come back. Queen d2. Rook c1 takes and bishop takes. Queen takes bishop. Didn't see tactic. Okay, bishop takes. Maybe bishop d4. Queen d4, queen d6, rook d6, let's go. Secure and win the rook. GG. Next match, let's go. Karukan defense. Tartakova variation. Can play b3 and bishop c4. Takes. Takes with knight. Okay, come back. Knight f4, rook e4. Queen g5. Rook c8, b4. Takes and promote queen. Win by time. GG. Next match. Threat bishop e4 now. Bishop e4, queen f3, takes with knight. Check, king f1. Take with queen, no problem. Takes. Five, queen h4. Trade queens. Next with the check. Yes. Let's go. 2437. Nice game. Pin and win. Can takes with queen, no problem. Let's use the pin. Give me the queen, knight c5, discover attack, give check, short castle. Big advantage. Queen c3, queen c5. Trade rooks. Trap the bishop. And take with the queen. And GG. Let's go. Let's go, my friends. Easy puzzle, easy win. 40, 37. We make 40 in 3 minutes. And 10 of 10. in puzzle battle. Let's go. Next match. Easy puzzle, easy win. Let's go. Next match. Save time and save energy. 11 wins. Okay, in this position we have two rooks, queen and bishop. Against queen, rook and bishop. Last move. Back push, c2. Threat, c takes d1 with queen. Promote queen with the check. Bishop is pinned by queen g5. We can play rook d7. Rook d7, okay, rook d7. Not rook d7, rook d8. Pin the rook. Takes, queen takes with the check. Only move king f7. Then rook f5 check. Only move king e6 or king g6. Queen g5 check. Check, check, and mate. And if queen e6, don't have queen d5 check. Okay, if I sacrifice rook, I think sacrifice rook to give checkmate with queen and rook. By rook h1, rook h8 check, king takes rook, check with queen. If king come back, queen takes e8. If king h7, rook check, followed by mate, sacrifice, check, check. Now I want to give checkmate. Okay, queen g6, I can blockade with queen g7. Let's play queen e6 check and queen e5 check. Queen e6, queen e6, queen g6, you can come back with queen g7. 3131. Let's go. Next puzzle. Okay, I think this position sacrifice queen to give mate with bishop, two bishop and knight. By queen, queen h5, gh5, bishop takes h7, checkmate. And if knight takes, queen takes h7 mate. After queen h5, we push, bishop takes knight, queen h7 check, king takes h7, pawn takes g5 check, blockade with bishop, rook takes bishop, and rook h8 checkmate. Queen h5, queen h7 check, discover attack with tempo, with check with rook, rook takes h3, and rook checkmate with bishop and rook. 3142. Two puzzles in a row, good start. Want to make 40 without blunder. Bishop f2 mate, not mate. Wait, bishop f2, bishop c4. Rook e6, rook checkmate. Check, check, and mate. Mate. Queen b7. Queen b7, bishop b5. Check and win the bishop. Okay, bishop check. Bishop check, king f5. Checkmate with rook, not checkmate with rook. Rook f7, king e5, bishop f4, and bishop d6. Bishop b4 check, bishop d2, bishop d2, king d2, queen check. Queen takes rook. Queen e1, rook d1 mate. Check, knight g6, rook takes, queen takes rook. Check, takes, rook h4, queen h5, rook h5 mate. When you see a good move, look for a better one. Emmanuel Lasker, world champion. Queen g2 mate. Queen c6, bishop c4, queen f6, gf6, bishop c4. 25, nice. King c4, king b5, king b6, king b7. Double check. King takes pawn. If king takes pawn, the rook is pinned. King h5, we can play queen h7 with tempo. King h1 and play queen e5 with check. Knight g6, knight g3, king h2. Okay, knight g3, check, king h2. Knight f5, bishop f4. But knight takes with tempo with check. King g1, knight d2. Check, takes, win the bishop. Knight c5. Knight c5, bc5, and push g5. Take the rook with pawn. King e7. Push, push, push. King d7. Yes, 30 without blunder. Let's go. Bishop and knight. Rook. Control h5. Knight f6 check, king g7. Rook h7 check, king f6, rook f7 mate. Queen h3, king g1, queen takes g2 mate. Rook g2, king h1. Rook g2, king h1. Okay, maybe rook d1 and play rook f2. Or rook g2 check with tempo, king h1, and double the rook. If we give check, king f2, check, and rook f2. And now takes with tempo with a check, king here. Bishop takes, if rook takes, mate. Check, bishop takes f1, king f7. Rook e6, rook e6, knight takes d5, rook e6, rook g6. Okay, if I give check with bishop, king takes f7, knight g5, double check. Bishop f7 and knight takes g5, threat knight e6. Nice, let's go. Bishop d4 check. check with the queen, control g1, bishop d4 check. Okay, not bishop d4, bishop e3 check. Want to give mate with queen and bishop. Bishop e3, king e2, queen f2, king d1 and queen d2 checkmate. Check, check and mate. Nice. Okay, queen and rook against 4 pieces. Give check. Can takes free queen with tempo. Okay, queen g6 check. King f2. Then mate. Check and mate. Okay, in this position, queen takes g3. You can take with a check with pawn. So queen g3, gf7 check, rook f7, take the queen, take the queen, take with a check, remove the bishop. Okay, now take on e6, then rook f7, rook f7, king f7. Okay, my friends, 37. 3 puzzles to make 40 without blunder. We have knight control c7. Can play queen c7 check. Only move king e8. Queen takes bishop check. Only move blockade with knight or knight c7. Okay. Can take on e7. You can play knight g7. Sorry, queen c7 takes. Now only check with knight. Then bishop makes cover check and win the queen. Knight c7. Bishop g5 check. f6. Rook takes queen. We make 39, 38 without blunder. 2 more puzzles. Bishop is pinned. We can use the pin, my friends, and give checkmate. Pawn f5 control g6 and control e6. We can play queen e5 checkmate. Queen e5 mate. Bishop pinned by rook e6. Okay, 39. 1 more puzzle, my friends, to make 40 without blunder. Knight d7 is pinned by rook c7. Knight queen against isolated king. Okay, queen check, only move king g3. Then knight f5 check, only move king h3. Then not queen h4. Queen h4 you can go to g2, but queen f3 mate. Queen e4, king g3. Knight f5 check, king h3. And queen f3 checkmate. Check, check, and mate. 40 puzzle, my friends, without blunder. Let's go. Easy puzzle, easy win. Okay, in this position we have bishop and queen against queen and rook. If I give check with bishop, we can push g4. Give check with queen, queen f7, queen f7 check, king g4, queen f7 check, king g4, h3 check, king h3, queen h5, king g3, queen f3. Okay, check, only move. Then check with pawn. If king takes g3, you can take on g3. Okay, check with bishop, king come back. Queen f7, king g4. Queen f7, king g4. h3 check, king g3. Take your time and play the best move. Okay, if I give check, king g6, check with pawn, no, queen f7, only check, king here, bishop f3, queen f3, queen h5, and now I think one more check, force draw, no, not force draw, but queen e6, force king h5, then queen h3, checkmate, bishop control g6, bishop e4, control g6, bishop e4, control h7, b1 diagonal, so queen e6 check, force king h5, then queen can give mate on h3. Nice. Okay, in this position, play king f7, waiting move. We push the pawn. We can take. Push e5. Push, takes, push, push, queen, queen, takes mate. Okay, take the pawn. Can push, 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 queen. Queen b2, give mate. Nice. Okay, in this position, we can give check on d3 and win bishop f4. White threat take on d6 with knight. Takes d6. So knight d3 check. Knight d3, king e3, knight f4. We play knight d3. If we play king e3, play knight d4. And if we play knight d6, knight check. Okay, blockade with knight. Blockade with knight. And play king e7. Okay, bishop f4, bishop e6. We lose piece. King e7. If we give check, king f6. 43 without blunder. Nice, my friends. Let's go. Okay, take on c4. Open 5 rank for the queen. So we can give check. Fork the king and fork the bishop on g5. dc4, bishop c4. Queen e5 check. Takes. Check. And win the bishop. Okay, in this position we can give mate with bishop and rook. By queen check, queen d8, king d8. Bishop b5, bishop g5 check. Double check with bishop and rook. King go to c8, rook d8 check, king e8, rook d8 checks. Queen check, bishop g5, and rook d8. Okay, in this position, we can trap the queen. Takes, bishop takes, takes, rook takes with a check. Okay, takes, bishop takes, rook takes with a check, king g2. King g2, knight f6. He want to take the rook with a check. Okay, now if I move the queen, we can move the queen by play queen g3, prevent bishop check or queen check. Rook is pinned. So we want to play bishop g6 check. come back to f8, check, and take on g7. So queen g3. If rook takes f6 with the check, knight takes f6, give me the queen. Only move, queen come back to h8. We control e4 with pawn, prevent, and knight control e4, knight f6 control e4. So queen g3, rook takes, knight takes, queen h8, queen check, king here, and knight g4, threat mate into queen g3, takes with king. Let's go. Take your time and play the best move. 46, 4 passes to make 50 without blunder. This position, you play knight e6. Take a look at the pawn structure. White, black king in the center with rook e1, same file. Knight e5, f e5, queen check, knight takes e5, f takes e5, queen h5 check, fork the king and fork the pawn. So knight e5, f e5, queen h5, g6, can take on e5 with queen, knight e5, f e5, queen check, g6, queen e5, queen e7. So takes, queen check, g6, queen check, queen e7. And if I take the rook, take on e1 with mate. So let's take with if I take with rook takes with knight. Okay, rook e5 check now, can go to f7. So check, g6, and rook e5 check. Okay, queen h5, g6, queen e5, queen h5, g6, queen e5 check, queen e7. Okay, queen e7, you can play queen c3. Protect the rook, same time try to win the queen. Check, takes. Easy puzzle, easy win. Let's go, my friends. 47. This position, knight takes e5. After knight e5, bishop e5. Okay, knight e5, bishop e5. Can you play knight d5, threat knight c7 check? Or bishop, okay, you can take the bishop with tempo. Take the bishop with the check. So knight d5, knight f3, g f3, you can play bishop e4. But if I take knight, bishop takes, bishop d4, takes, not good move. Knight d5, threat knight c7. If knight takes, can takes with pawn. We put the bishop on e5, we can play bishop d4. Knight d5, takes, and now bishop d4. Idea with bishop d4, if we take on d4, we can play knight c7 check, take the rook. So bishop d4. Okay, bishop d4, bishop e5, bishop d5, rook d5. Yes, 48 without blunder, my friends. Nice try, let's go. Okay, in this position, queen takes, queen, rook takes, knight takes bishop, rook takes, king takes. Okay, if I make discover check, like knight discover attack with a check, the queen is pinned. Take the queen, no check, queen takes, and knight takes c5. Let's calculate knight c5. This is the problem with knight c5, my friends. Knight c5, you can play rook d2. Rook takes rook, king takes rook, king e1, rook takes b2, Okay, knight takes c5, knight g5, gf5, knight takes bishop, rook takes, king takes. Okay, takes and play king. After takes, king e2, knight c5. Okay, now my friends, if rook takes rook, you can take with king. The knight is attacked by the rook and they try to check with the rook. If I play knight here, check. So in this position, just push b4, protect the knight. If rook takes e1, no, my friend, you can see the threat, rook f5 check, king g1 and rook takes rook checkmate. So in this position, best move, play knight e4, come back. If you play rook f5 check, knight f2, and if you play rook e5 we threat knight d6 check. So to prevent rook f5, same time protect the knight, rook takes, king takes, and a threat rook d1 or rook c5. So knight e4, rook e4, rook e4, rook d1, rook e1, knight e4, rook f5, knight f2, rook e1, king e1. Let's go, my friends, take your time and play the best move. Queen d5 check, fork the king and fork the bishop, on b5, bishop control f1 with threat mate in 1. Okay, check, bishop control h8 diagonal, h8 e1 diagonal with bishop. If I play king e7, queen check. If I play king e8, take the bishop with tempo. Okay, if I move the queen now, queen e7 takes with a check. Want to move the king, and he can stop the mate. Okay, this puzzle not easy puzzle, tricky puzzle. Okay, my friends, if I play king c7, bishop e5 check, king b6, king c7, bishop b5 check. If you play check with queen, can blockade with bishop. Okay, check, king b6, queen c5, king here. King b6, big blunder. Okay, last move, queen takes rook, king give check, king b3, check, mate with knight, knight c2, queen b5, king e3, knight c2, queen b5, king e3, and knight c2 mate. We make 50, my friends, let's go. Okay, in this position we try to promote pawn, knight against rook. If I push, rook check, king c2, rook here, blockade with knight, just push the pawn. Okay, if king c3, he can give check on e3 and play rook h3, stop the pass pawn. Prevent rook check on e5, play king d3, king d3. Okay, king d3 or king d1. King d1 he can play rook check. He can give check with rook takes. King d1 he can push c2. King d2 he can give check. King d1 he can play. King d1 he can play c2 check, and if king takes c2, rook check and rook h2. So in this position, king d3. If he push c2, promote with tempo with the check. And after king d3, if he give check, king can take the pawn. So king d3 best move. And now, not king c2. He can give check on d2 and play rook h2. But king takes c3. And blockade the rook. 51, nice my friends, let's go. Rook takes, knight f4 check. Okay, we can force white king come back to first rank and win the rook with tempo with the check with knight. Knight f4 check, knight f4 check, queen control. e7, g1 diagonal. After knight f4 check, king come back to first rank. Rook takes rook with tempo. And if queen takes, pawn takes, rook takes with the check. Okay. Knight f4, queen f4. Takes, rook takes with the check, king e7. Or rook takes rook. Rook takes rook, we try to win the queen. Okay, wait my friends, rook takes rook, we try to win the rook or win the queen. Double attack. Rook takes b1, give me queen on f4 or rook on h1. If you protect the queen, win the rook. So rook takes b1, best move. And now e takes f4. F2 pass pawn against bishop. If I push b2, bishop d3. And if I play c2, king d2. In this position I think move the king, put the king on e3, then e2 and promote pawn b. Okay, now if I play king e3, king takes c3, push. Okay, if I push, king c2, king here and stop the pass pawn. King e3, king c3, push b2, bishop d3, c3, c2, king e2, king c1, check, king takes, king here, bishop check. 53, let's go my friends. Queen takes h2, okay, now we can play bishop check. Or queen takes bishop with tempo. Can you give mate? Queen takes, king here. Threat knight f6. Okay, check, then bishop f5. Okay, queen f7 check. King here. King d8. Queen f8. Rook e8. They control d6 with the queen. Check with bishop. King d7. Knight takes bishop with the check. King c7. Bishop b5. Only move. Bishop d7. Okay, nice. Okay, bishop b5. Blockade king d7 with bishop d7. give check. After bishop d7 we can play queen takes f8, checkmate. 54 my friends, let's go. Okay, in this position white play king f1. King f1, king f1. Rook takes c2, we can play knight f6 with check. Queen c4, queen c2, queen c2, rook c2, knight f6, king f7. Queen c2 threat, queen c7, queen c2 and king f7. King g7. Check takes, check and mate. Queen e3, then queen g3 mate. Okay, 54, nice try.